It's a chilly, clear day, but it'll warm up once these folks step inside PNC Arena and get a taste of the rivalry that's one of the longest in the ACC. Wake Forest and NC State doing basketball battle for the 243rd time. Welcome to ACC College Hoops. Wake Forest Deacons and the NC State Wolfpack. Enough youth to go around between these two teams, but this arch rivalry, of course, reaches back, way back, and of course, you get the feeling when these two teams get together that something strange is going to happen.
Well, Steve, this has been a great rivalry. A lot of great players, a lot of great games, and I think anytime these two get together, you're looking for some excitement. We're going to see that today.
Well, one part of the excitement is going to be flared by our hardy star of the game, and that is Cat Barber. He is something else.
He sure is. Not only one of the conference's best players, but one of the country's best players. Obviously extremely quick, but he's developed a great three-point shot. And this guy is a guy that leads North Carolina State in scoring, leads the conference in scoring, but he's also a good assist guy.
3 games of 30 or more points. Nobody's done that in a Wolfpack uniform since David Thompson did it back in 1972. Devin Thomas is the guy that makes Wake Forest go both inside and out.
Well, an active, in fact, relentless inside player. If he gets close to the basket, he's hard to stop. Also a good defender, runs very well in transition. Obviously, he's the key to everything Wake Forest does.
One of the career leaders in double-doubles in the ACC among active players, with 32 double-doubles coming into this game this afternoon. Let's take a look at our 4 keys to the game. What's important for both of these teams today?
Well, Wake Forest has played really well in certain stretches, but their decision-making sometimes, they throw the ball away, they take bad shots. They can't afford that today. And the last time these two teams got together, Wake Forest just dominated inside on both ends of the court. North Carolina State can't allow that today.
The Wake Forest Deacons looking for another win. The last time that came was against these same Wolfpack players, so they'll go at it this afternoon with a lot on the line. For NC State, a few debts to repay, and Wake Forest is one of them.
ACC College Hoops is sponsored by your local Ford dealer. Works is work season. And the Steakhouse Thick Burger, only at Hardee's.
The first ever ACC basketball tournament championship was played between these two schools, and they are old rivals. They've played each other more than any other ACC school, and they'll go after each other again today. The 243rd meeting, NC State leads in this series 139-103. Wake Forest won January 9th, 77-73, in a game that saw NC State come back in the second half, but not far enough.
NC State really had a problem in this game, Steve. They got in foul trouble on the inside early. Abu went to the bench early. Anya came in the game. He got in foul trouble. And NC State was just never able to get anything going inside.
All right, we're ready to go. Devin Thomas stands in the jump circle against Malik Abu, and we are ready to go here in Raleigh. Rowan gets the tip, and here's Cat Barber. The ball will be in his hands a lot this afternoon. Into the paint it goes to Abu. The ball tipped by Abu. Saved it before it went out of bounds. Barber tries to make something work, and most often it does.
Steve, that's a very good point. Most often when he tries to make something work, it does work. Wake Forest in the man-to-man. They have to not only stop Barber from scoring, they've got to stop him from facilitating the other player.
Can you accept one or the other?
Well, I think, yeah, you can, but here's what we're talking about with Barber. The ball is deflected inside. It's the end of the shot clock. Who do you want other than Cat Barber in a situation like this?
I would think you'd want him, you'd be okay with him scoring, but not allowing others to score. And looking how they framed him on his first possession out top, it looked like that's what they were going to do. Off the miss, Thomas into front court.
Both teams start in the man-to-man.
There's Thomas up and under, won't work. Leonard Freeman has the rebound, and guess who's got the ball? Barber.
Now, the ball is in Barber's hands a very high percentage of the time.
Rowan with the travel is going to give the ball back to Wake Forest. Both of these teams, a lot of youth spread around. Barber, one of the few, reached that junior year, and they look to him for leadership. For Wake Forest, of course, Devin Thomas and Cody Miller-McIntyre provide. Here's part of the new wave, Bryant Crawford. Wilbekin holds. Miller McIntyre, and at some point they're going to look to this guy, Thomas. Makes a nice move and draws a foul.
And that's part of the problem that North Carolina State had trying to defend Wake Forest before Leonard Freeman picks up that foul. Devin Thomas is more than just a back-to-the-basket guy. When he faces the basket, Mark Gottfried is as aware of anybody that Thomas is pretty good at putting it down and getting to the basket.
Middleglue gets the basket to tie this game up. Dinos Middleglue, excellent three-point shooter.
Well, he had a big game against North Carolina State the last time as well.
Middleglue comes out and
Steve,
goes a little too hard.
Well, see, now that's something, Steve, as Middleglue picks up the foul that I think guards ought to do more of. And that is when that big guy jumps out there, drive the ball right into his hip, just like that. You don't want to hit him in the chest with your shoulder, but if you drive and you hit him hip to hip, the referee will call that a foul every time.
There's the shot out front by Martin. Cody Martin started the last 7 games. He puts NC State up by 2. Wide open shot, Wilbekin. He gets the 3.
Wake Forest wants to play in transition. They like the 3 in transition. If you're North Carolina State, not only do you have to get back, you have to find the three-point shooters.
Barber looks away from Rowan. Now he'll get it back as he repositions. The rebound comes away to Miller McIntyre. Wake on the run again. Miller McIntyre to finish. And Wake Forest takes a 7-4 lead.
See, I don't think North Carolina State can settle for three-point shots because when you miss a 3, generally you have a long rebound, and that helps Wake Forest get out and go. And we just said that's what they want to do.
Come out and double defend Barber to force and change his direction. The ball lost out of bounds. Looks like a last touch by Wake.
And Cody Miller McIntyre, he was injured at the start of the season, but he is a guy who can get down the court. 6'3", he's pretty good size. He's pretty good going to the basket, particularly in transition.
Hard worker. Wake 3 out of 4 from the floor so far. Ball lost out of bounds by Wake.
That's a nice job by Wilbekin, and a nice job by Middleglue to push Malik Abu away from the basket, force him to dribble to get in position, and as he dribbled, Wilbekin knocked the ball away.
Barber's 3, rebounded there by Wake Forest. Here comes Crawford. Middleglue to that left hand, and he is fouled. Foul coming up. It's going to be on Abu.
So you got a foul on Abu, you got a foul on Freeman, and Mark Gottfried's got to be standing over there thinking, you know, as Yogi Berra said, this is deja vu all over again because these big guys, the fouls that are called on his inside guys.
Yep, Big's in trouble. It's a new book. Middleglue on the line. He's up for 2. The first one's good.
And one of the Deacons' problems in conference play has not been their inability to get to the free throw line, but their inability to convert from the line when they do get there.
66% from the line for Wake Forest this year. Middleglue ties together 2 ends of it, and he'll come to the bench. Coming in now is going to be John Collins. Collins, promising freshman out of West Palm Beach, Florida.
Boy, Collins is really skilled. He can run, he can drive the ball to the basket. Wait now, a 7-0 run, and that's what they did to North Carolina State in the last game. They hit him with a couple of big runs, and the Wolfpack wasn't able to recover.
Martin inside. We've got a whistle and a foul away from the pass, and that foul is going to be charged, I think, to Collins.
That's Crawford. Crawford was hanging on to Cat Barber.
And coming out, Leonard Freeman, and in comes Caleb Martin. So we got both Martins in there, separated by a minute at birth. Whistle and a foul before the ball came in.
That's on Wilbekin.
His first. Foul starting to pile up both sides now here early. Martin with it. Got Thomas on him as he tries to take the post area.
I think that was a good idea by Martin, but well defended by Thomas.
Abu puts it up and in.
You can see why Abdul Malik Abu is so valuable to the North Carolina State Wolfpack. He provides them with an inside presence, and it's not just back to the basket. He can drive the ball.
And he'll be matched up with Thomas. We've got a whistle before the foul, before the shot. And the foul coming up. Looks like it's going to be on
that's on Cody Martin. See, what Mark Gottfried did by taking Freeman out of the game and putting Caleb Martin in, he's gone a little bit smaller, and so Wake Forest recognizing that and going to Collins.
Ooh, nice put into Cody Miller-McIntyre. The pass coming in from Crawford. And that puts Wake Forest up here 11-6. Barber out front. Feeds Martin. Gets it back for three. And Thomas gets the rebound. Staying active on the boards is going to help Wake this afternoon. Here's Crawford. Thomas down low, wanted Collins, threw it to the wrong player. Comes to Cody Martin, second turnover. And Barber will finish the play at the other end. It's 11-8.
Barber's as good in transition as anybody in the conference.
Crawford for three. Look how fast they set up.
But again, Steve, there's that three in transition.
And speaking of that, Martin's shot will not go. That's Caleb Martin. We got a timeout on the floor. Timeout. 14 or 15-14 left to go in this first half of play. Wake Forest looking good here early, up on State by 6.
ACC College Hoops is brought to you by the official corporate champions of the ACC, Geico, Toyota, and New York Life.
A look inside the Dow Basketball Center, the on-campus home for NC State basketball. This is the off-campus home here at PNC Arena, a couple of miles from where you see that video.
Steve, we talked about the fact that in the last game between these two teams, Dinas Mitoglu had a good game, and he gets off to a good start early. Just moves without the basketball. You mentioned he's a very good three-point shooter. That was from two-point range.
Right now, Wake Forest is hitting everything 3 or 2 that they're shooting up there. They're 5 for 6. They're leading in rebounds 5-1.
Well, it's North Carolina State hasn't gotten any offensive rebounds, and Wake Forest has only missed one shot, so not many rebounds to be had.
Crawford holds up top. That's an NC State zone. Here's Miller-McIntyre for the shot. And they're still hitting. 16-8. 6 for Miller-McIntyre.
And one area where Devin Thomas has really improved over the course of his career at Wake Forest is his ability to pass out of the post. That was an outstanding job finding the open man out of the perimeter.
Caleb Martin inside. Abu has it blocked once. Second time right into a break. Miller-McIntyre with one to beat. And he did it. Miller-McIntyre with 8. Wake Forest by 10. And NC State wants a timeout. They're breaking on everything, especially wide rebounds. And of course, Mark Gottfried wants to talk things over on a short timeout.
Well, he talked about the fact that Miller-McIntyre off to a great start here, and one of the reasons, Steve, is that he has been able to get out in transition. That was a play where Cody Martin was going after the rebound, and in trying to get it, he tipped it toward the Wake Forest basket. Miller-McIntyre picked it up and finished.
Let's take a look at our Toyota trivia question. Now, this is a good one. We talked about this during the meals. Since 1972, 11 point guards have led the ACC in scoring. Of those 11, who was the last guard to lead their team to a winning ACC record?
Stephen, as you can imagine, when a point guard leads the conference in scoring, that is not necessarily a formula for team success. It's happened a few times, which is why it's a trivia question.
You'll be surprised at the answer. We always are. Barber at the top now as NC State tries to get something going in a 10-point hole here early. Oh, Barber, nice way in.
Oh, wow!
The first dribble did it, and Barber found the lane wide open.
Well, the first dribble got him into the lane, but that was some shot to convert the basket. Great job by Barber to split that big guy coming out to help on the screen.
Crawford for the 3, the rebound to Barber. Wendell Watson is into the ballgame now for Wake. As well as Cornelius Hudson. This is Martin, and he gets fouled out front. Foul's going to be charged there to Watson.
Now we saw Barber before go right into the hip of a defender trying to help out. That time Collins steps out to help on the screen, and watch Cat Barber. He goes right in between Collins and the screen. That gets him into the lane, but that doesn't guarantee that shot's going to go in. That's just a great play by a great offensive player.
Caleb Martin up for 2. Martin comes off the bench over the last 7. He's a 71% free throw shooter. Double figures in 13 games.
Well, I think one of the things that Caleb Martin needs to work on is trying to get the ball into the lane a little bit more. He just shoots an awful lot of three-point shots, particularly in ACC play. And he's a big, strong kid. 75% of his shots in ACC play have been from beyond the three-point arc.
Crawford in the lane, puts it up. There's contact, no foul, but a basket for Wake Forest. They're up 9.
And it's going to be hard for North Carolina State to catch up if Wake Forest never misses.
This is true. 6 points for Crawford. Barber at the top. He immediately draws 2 defenders to try to govern his direction, and he throws it away. They're trying to bottle him up at that top of the circle and try to prevent him from going one side or the other, or he'd rather have him pass it than take it.
But I think his teammates need to help him out. They need to go find open spots. He thought Caleb Martin was going to go into that open area, and Caleb Martin went the other way.
Miller McIntyre lost the handle on the ball. Picked up there by Cody Martin. Ahead now. Here's Caleb at the rim. He finishes, and he is fouled by John Collins.
Well, that was the Martin brothers there. Cody Martin gets the ball up the court very quickly. And in transition, he finds his twin brother. This was really a nice job attacking the basket. Wake Forest has been the team that's been out in transition. North Carolina State gets the turnover and turns the tables.
Well, scoring while the clock doesn't run is going to be big for NC State to get themselves back into this game. They're down 8. Wave of substitutions comes in now for Wake. Thomas is back. So is Midgley. Collins and McClinton come out. Cody Martin's out for NC State. Caleb is short with that second free throw. Here comes Wake Forest. Watson traveled with the ball as he fumbled with it in his hands. 4th turnover now for Wake.
I think that's the kind of a turnover. If you're Danny Manning, it frustrates you, but you don't mind that as much because you're trying to make a play. You're trying to get the ball up the court quickly. And it was not a turnover when the ball was live. It didn't allow North Carolina State to get out in transition. Wolfpack going back to their bigger lineup, Anya and Abu in the game at the same time.
Here comes the shot by Martin. Caleb Martin gets the 3. He's got 5. Wolfpack now just 5 back. Thomas working on Anya, and the ball lost out of bounds. A big collision there, but Thomas couldn't hang on.
Martin has just established the fact that he will drive the ball to the basket. So just that little fake that he gave forces the defender away. That gives him enough room to shoot the 3.
Here's Anya. Pass inside to Abu. It's tipped up there and in by Rowan.
Abu made that a harder shot than it had to be, but Rowan bailed him out.
And NC State's coming back. They're only down 3. Midgley short with the 3. Into Thomas with the basket plus the foul. Timeout on the court. 11:43 left to go. A 3-point play coming up next when we come back with State trailing Wake by 5.
The early theme for this game has been the Wake Forest Demon Deacons on the attack. Cody Miller McIntyre has done a nice job getting into the lane. In fact, that's been the theme for Wake Forest. You see Crawford getting to the basket here. But Miller McIntyre with 8 points in the game. You see he's converted all 4 of his field goals. They've all been inside the arc. Most of them drives to the basket. He had 1 short jump shot.
Evan Thomas going to the free throw line as Wake Forest tries to get its first series sweep since the 2011 season. Rebound comes away to NC State. Wolfpack down here by 5. The three from outside. We've got a whistle and a foul under the basket. I think this is going to be on Middleglue. Yes, it is. It's his second.
Got his arm wrapped up with B.J. Anya.
That's his 16th foul.
Middleglue has to come out. Collins comes in. Evan Thomas.
Well, we talked about the way he plays on the inside, and obviously he's got 5 rebounds already.
Here's Rowan. Textbook shot from Maverick Rowan. 5 points for Rowan, and now it's a 2-point game. As well as Wake has shot. Like they're getting to the basket. That's Crawford. A nice move.
Well, so far, whether it's in transition or against the half-court North Carolina State man-to-man defense, Wake Forest has been able to get to the goal.
Key is going to be what happens at this end of the floor. Can they contain Barber, and can they keep him from getting others involved? Martin.
I think whatever they do, Steve, they have to make Cat Barber work. He can't have any easy possessions.
Martin with 7. Here's Miller McIntyre. Hudson out front, testing Martin. Shot clock works its way to 10. We get a foul coming up. It's going to be on Collins, setting a screen on Barber.
Wake Forest has been getting inside, and here Anya does a nice job. That's a pass he throws that between the legs of Collins to allow Martin to score the basket. But North Carolina State needs to get the ball inside, and I'm not just talking about throwing it into the big guys with their back to the basket. You need to attack the basket off the dribble and off the pass.
NC State down by 2. Wake Forest has 6 turnovers already in this game. Barber out front, whistle away from the action. Foul's going to be on Thomas, and that's going to be a battle we watch all afternoon. Thomas and Abu.
That was just a bad play by Devin Thomas. He didn't need to push Abu that far from the basket.
Next week on ACC All Access, he's one of the top scorers in the ACC, but you wouldn't know it from talking to Virginia star Malcolm Brogdon. In fact, his humility's earned him one heck of a nickname. You'll find out what it is next week on ACC All Access. Check your local listings for airtime from your viewing area. Abu pulls NC State within a point of tying this ball game up. No matter how well Wake Forest has shot in this game to begin, that's 4 for Abu, and it's a new ball game. Here comes a quick shot from the wing. Wilbekin missed. Martin with the rebound. Rowan. Rebound comes down to Wake Forest. Thomas has it. Cody Miller McIntyre has hit all 5 shots this afternoon. 26-24. 10 points for McIntyre. Anya at the top.
And Anya, did you see Anya stay at the top, Steve? Cat Barber drove the ball into the lane. Anya, if he'd have rolled to the basket, would have gotten an easy one. He's going to go to the free throw line. But I think sometimes that's a problem with a guy like Cat Barber. He handles the ball so much, sometimes his teammates just stand around, and that's what Anya did that time, although he did get himself inside to battle for the rebound against Terrell Moore.
And Moore will pick up the foul. Anya to the line for 2.
You know, if you're B.J. Anya and you set a screen for Cat Barber, and your guy goes toward Cat Barber, you got to go to the basket, particularly down on the block, and get yourself open. Cat Barber will get him the ball.
Yeah. We're tied up again at 26. Second tie of the game.
And that's 2 free throws made by a guy who's shooting 36% in ACC play. That's why you had such a big applause from the crowd.
Wilbekin on the wing. Crawford looking, heads baseline with Barber on him. And what's the call? He stepped out of bounds, I think. It's going back to Wolfpack. And they have a chance to take their first lead. That's the 7th turnover now on the Deacons.
Remember, we talked about decision making. That was a very poor decision to try to drive that ball into traffic when there was no room along the baseline.
Here's Barber. Big show at the top. The pass deflected to Martin. And Caleb Martin gets it going from the wing. NC State is in front.
And Martin shooting the ball much better from three-point range than has been his habit so far in ACC play, and that's a big bonus for NC State.
The shot from outside. Anya boards the miss. You saw the graphic a moment ago about points off turnovers. Wake 7 turnovers coming back to haunt them now. 8:29 left to go first half. Barber looks over to Coach Gottfried and calls the play. Set up in a double post. Here's Caleb Martin, shoots the 3.
That's a good thing he made that 3 because he missed B.J. Anya, who was wide open under the basket.
13 for Caleb Martin. Second 3 in a row. We got a whistle and a foul as Thomas drifts to the hoop. Foul coming up is going to be on NC State on B.J. Anya. Timeout on the court. 7:59 left to go in the first half. Caleb Martin, 2 in a row from behind the three-point arc to put NC State over Wake by 6. Wake was down 10. They fueled it from the bench, and Caleb Martin's led the way.
Well, Caleb Martin got his game started by driving the ball to the basket, getting to the free throw line, and that has helped set him up for the three-point shot. He's made 3 of his 4 three-point attempts today. This is a guy who comes in shooting only about 32% from beyond the arc in ACC play.
He has 13 of the 15 bench points so far.
And Devin Thomas, I mean, he's not a guy that's got a very effective 15 or 16-foot jump shot. So when he gets the ball out about the around the free throw, and you know he's going to drive, B.J. Anya just wasn't able to stay in front of him.
Pair of foul shots for Devin Thomas gives him 4 for the game. North Carolina State leading Wake Forest by 4. Here's Barber dealing with Crawford. This is Cody Martin. Barber out of a post up. Anya looks around. Sneaks it to Abu. It is grabbed here by Doral Moore. Wow. Crawford into front court.
Well, Moore is 7 feet tall and has those long, long arms. I don't think Abu ever saw him coming.
Just picked right out of his hands. Cody Miller-McIntyre to Thomas. 10 on the shot clock for Crawford. Gets a screen, and the 3 doesn't work. Thomas gets the rebound, but Anya's going to pick up a foul.
And Anya picks up the foul. That's his second. Now, they talk about how you block a shot so your team can keep it. Well, how about not block it at all? Just take it.
Take it out
up, grabs it.
Let's see, that's a block, that's a rebound, that's everything. And try to get it into him, and he catches a push in the back. And Remy Steins found it by Malik Abu. It's going to be his second. So
his second, and so here we go again. It's like as we were talking before.
The affliction that seems to take place with NC State against Wake Forest among its bigs.
Well, now if you're the NC State's coaching staff, you have a real dilemma on your hands. Abdul Malik Abu is such a valuable player. You need him out there offensively, but if he picks up his 3rd foul before the half, then you've got a big, big problem.
Got a game coming up next. Georgia Tech, Clemson. Big game for both, especially the Clemson Tigers. Nice play by Barber.
He doesn't need much room, does he?
No, he doesn't. No setup required. 8 points for Cat Barber. Thomas rolls it off his foot, trying to pick it back up. Bernard Freeman trying to be effective without fouling. Here's Miller McIntyre. Rebound underneath. Moore tries to stuff it. It was blocked. Miller McIntyre has it knocked out of bounds. 1 second on the shot clock.
That was quite a flourish on the inside. Miller McIntyre has his shot altered. I think it just slips out of his hands. Then Moore has the shot blocked. And then they still go at it. I think they blocked that one.
Abu had to watch out from picking up his third foul. So
well, he had to watch out, but he wasn't really watching very carefully. He went after that ball 3 different times.
He did. Now, coming into the game going to be Greg McClinton, and they come in for Moore. 1 second on the shot clock. Catch, shoot, 3, no. NC State's got it back. Here comes Barber. Crawford's got his hands full with this matchup. Freeman at the top. Rowan gets fouled, and the foul's going to be charged to Wilbekin. 2 on him. So the foul's starting to pile up as well as the turnovers on Wake Forest. So Rowan will be on the free throw line, shooting 2.
I think this is an important stretch of the game for North Carolina State. Both Abu and Anya are on the bench. So they're playing with a smaller lineup. Leonard Freeman, who isn't, a great offensive player, is now going to occupy that position in the post.
Now he's picked up a foul on the rebounding action. That's 2 for him.
It's 2 for him, okay. Going from bad to worse here.
Yeah. Situation of concern for Mark Gottfried.
Well, what you have to do with Freeman is just leave him out there. And if you're Wake Forest, knowing that Freeman's got 2 fouls, you go after him.
So on for the front half of a one-on-one. McClinton gets it in. He's a 56% free throw shooter. It's his first point of the game. NC State here by 5. Here's McClinton again. Wolfpack have it back. Let's see what they do with the smaller lineup here. Martin in the lane. Lays it up and in. Cody Martin.
Now his brother likes to stand outside and shoot threes, but Cody Martin much better taking the ball to the basket.
15 points for him. Watson with it. This is McClinton. To the Crawford in the paint to Thomas. And he gets fouled as he goes down that left side. That's his favorite side. And the foul's coming up on Leonard Freeman.
I actually think they got Cody Martin. I think it was 1-5.
All right.
Or is it Freeman?
That's Cody Martin. It's still the same problem. 3 fouls. When you talk about the bigs picking up foul trouble, you want to look at some of the guys who are scoring for NC State now picking it up as Thomas goes to the line. So Cody Martin goes to the sidelines. B.J. Anya's back in.
And Anya has those 2 fouls.
Collins back in for Wake Forest.
Collins comes in. McClinton comes out now. Match up with the size inside. Thomas 1 out of 2. 5-point lead for NC State. 5 points for Thomas.
And I think if you're Wake Forest, when you get the ball back, you attack inside. Both Freeman and Anya have to be careful, and if they're not careful, they're going to pick up a foul.
There's the steal. Crawford on his way. Missed the dunk, but they say Freeman fouled it. Mark Gottfried saying he missed that all in himself. That's going to be 2.
I think Mark Gottfried has a point. I'm not sure that Freeman ever touched it.
I don't think so either.
Let's see if we can pick it up here. Now the official is behind the play.
Crawford 68% free throw shooter as well.
Well, that's a tough one. I think from the official's vantage point, it may have appeared that Freeman got that hand in just at the end of the play. But that's now 3 fouls on Freeman, 3 fouls on Cody Martin.
Here comes Barber. Freeman in a post ball, poked away by Crawford. He gets the end result with Anya back. He'll finish this time. And Wake Forest closes to within 2. Crawford now with 10 points.
Well, we just said, Steve, that this was an important stretch of the game for North Carolina State, and the wheels have come off at the moment.
Inside, Freeman tries to make it work. Gets the offensive board and finishes. His first basket of the game.
Well, he's a great offensive rebounder. That time he got back his own miss. And he just got called for his 4th foul.
Wow.
Mark Gottfried has a guy over at the scorer's table trying to get in for Freeman. He couldn't get him out of the game in time.
That's going to be 3. I kind of led you astray on that one. You were right. That one went back to Cody Martin. Collins on the free throw line for 2. The first one's good. Coming into the ball game now is going to be Sean Kirk. And Freeman comes out.
3 on Freeman, 3 on Cody Martin.
Right.
Anya's in the game with 2 fouls. And Kirk is used very little. He's only played a total of 19 minutes in ACC play.
Collins with a pair. Cuts the lead to 2. It's Wake Forest and NC State. You don't need to ask any more questions. Barber for 3 doesn't work. Rebound Martin out to Rowan for 3.
On the season, North Carolina State gets back about 34% of its misses, which is a very high offensive rebounding percentage, and they were able to show their skill right there to get to 3.
Offensive foul is going to be charged to Wake Forest. Timeout on the court. NC State leads by 5.
Timeout.
Welcome to PNC Arena in Raleigh, where NC State holding sway over Wake Forest after an early Demon Deacon lead. Both teams shooting well. Over 50%. The 3-point field goal has been good to NC State. And we're into the double bonus here in the last 3 minutes and 52 seconds.
Well, Cody Miller-McIntyre off to a very hot start. It's been a while since we've heard from him. And Wake Forest, even though they're shooting the ball very well from the field, they've done most of their damage recently from the free throw line.
That's right. And 1 field goal in the last 9 minutes and 54 seconds to illustrate that point. Here's Cody Miller-McIntyre. That's his first miss of the day after 5 makes. Barber in the front court. Barber started by Crawford. Anya at the post. Barber off the glass.
Barber thinking he got hit on that one.
Crawford on the fast break. Got it to go. Wake Forest has wanted to run at any opportunity, and NC State's given them a few. That's 12 for Crawford.
Now, Wake Forest credited with 13 fast break points.
They got a jump ball, and possession arrow goes to
Wake Forest. So another turnover.
NC State now has 5. Wake Forest has 8. The usual things at play in this Wake Forest NC State game that we've seen over the years.
NC State with their foul trouble, and Kirk in the game, an inexperienced guy. They line up in a zone. And one of the reasons you play zone is to try to cut down on dribble penetration, which has been a sore spot today.
That was a pass penetration. Good shot by McClinton, but he couldn't make it go, and the ball out of bounds is going to be NC State.
I actually think Anya got a fingertip on that one.
Might have.
And now Mark Gottfried has just received a warning. He's still not happy with that foul that was called on Leonard Freeman on the breakaway, and he has not let that go yet.
It's about 6 minutes old. Barber to Martin. Here's Barber, approaching the 2-minute mark. Miller McIntyre watching him. To his left hand he goes. He got fouled as he went through. Miller McIntyre with the foul.
You know, it is almost impossible to stay in front of Cat Barber. North Carolina State spread the court, gave him a lot of room. He is just so quick. Particularly given the way the game is being called today, you can't make contact with that offensive player. And interestingly, that's Cat Barber's first free throw attempt of the game.
It's true. He's been more of a distributor this afternoon. Others have been doing the work. Martin twins have gotten it going. Missed both shots. It's odd for an 86% free throw shooter.
He shoots over 90 in ACC competition.
Devin Thomas has 10 rebounds now. Here's Miller McIntyre. It's that NC State zone. They moved through it last time. This time's a little problematic. Shot clock at 10. Rowan got his hand on it.
Well, I think even against the zone, Steve, you've got to penetrate. You can't throw the ball around the perimeter.
So Clinton goes out. Middleglu's back into the ballgame. He picked up 2 early fouls. We haven't seen much of him in the first half.
I think the idea with Middleglue is you get him in, maybe stretch the zone a little bit more with his three-point shooting ability.
Miller McIntyre into the corner. Crawford for 3. Rebound comes back out. It's going to be Caleb Martin with it. Barber holds it out. NC State's last field goal was about 4 minutes ago. Wolfpack by 3. Here's Caleb Martin. Barber, but good shut off there. Close off by Miller McIntyre. To the baseline. 3 on the shot clock. Rebound, Devin Thomas, but taken by Rowan, and he'll score. 11 points for Rowan.
And twice now he's gotten tough offensive rebounds and put him back. He's the guy who's noted as his shooter.
He stole that one from Thomas inside. Here comes the shot from the wing, and it is good by Watson, Rondell Watson. A 3 for him, 44-42, cuts the lead to 2 with almost 30 seconds to go in the first half. So Wake Forest got the early lead, and they are closing in on tying this ball game up. Rowan. Whistle and a foul coming up. It's going to be charged to Watson. It's his second.
You're so worried about Rowan's ability to shoot the jump shot. You get up to try to pressure him, and that's a nice job by the young man to take the ball and try to drive it. You have to be more than just a standstill shooter, or guys can get up and pressure you.
Rowan makes the first free throw. That's 12 for him. A lot of foul shots in this first half, keeping both teams alive. There's Rowan for today. Pair of 3-point field goals.
He only averages 12 points a game in ACC play, so he's already exceeded his average in the first half.
A whistle and a timeout called. Wake Forest wants to talk things over here. Danny Manning wants to orchestrate this last possession here for Wake Forest. Let's take a look at some of our top ACC stories. Of course, ACC represented very well in the AP Top 25.
Well, you've got 4 teams in the top 25. You've got a couple more hovering around the top 25. Be interesting to see how that plays out with the results from this weekend.
And one of the 4 in the top 25 has its self-imposed postseason ban from both the ACC tournament and the NCAA. And there's Duke. Of course, they've come alive, starting to roll with 3 straight wins.
Well, after a rough January, they're starting to roll now. Again, they've got a tough game today, a home game against Virginia.
Grayson Allen started ACC 3-0. They lost 4 out of 5. Now they're back on the win streak again.
Well, Allen, obviously, a big key to that team. A guy who can put a lot of points on the board in a hurry. Speaking of a lot of points on the board, that's what we have here in the first half.
We do. Got 88 points up there. 12 seconds to go. Crawford holds out front. One admitted with a good defense by Martin. Here comes Miller McIntyre, and he finds a way to the hoop. 2-point game, Rowan, no. And the first half comes to an end. It goes back and forth. First Wake Forest, then NC State, and then the Deacons find their way to within 2 of their arch rivals from Raleigh here at the end of the first half. NC State 46-44 over Wake Forest.
ACC College Hoops is sponsored by Husqvarna. Now through February 29th, trade in your old lawnmower and receive a $50 rebate on the purchase of a new one. See your Husqvarna dealer for details.
NC State leading Wake Forest here at halftime, 46-44. That's the group quick change. They come out and do a great job all over the NCAA and all over the NBA as well. See them several times during the year. It's been a quick change in this game for both teams. You wondered how I was going to leave that in. Wake Forest came out here, got the fast break going. NC State caught up, and now Wake is pretty much on even terms if we look at the first half.
Steve, I think the story of the first half was Wake Forest on attack early. They were able to get that lead, particularly playing in transition, and then they started turning the ball over, and that's where NC State really got going. And one of the guys who played really well for Wake Forest was Brian Crawford. He made a three-point basket, but primarily, as his teammates did, he drove the ball to the basket. Here we see that scoring in transition. 13-2 is the advantage in fast break points for Wake Forest. But Caleb Martin, coming off the bench for North Carolina State, knocked down 3 three-point baskets, scored a total of 13 points, and really helped keep the Wolfpack, well, got them the lead and has helped them preserve that lead.
Well, NC State keeping in touch here with the three-point play and, of course, offsetting the fast break points by Wake Forest. Cody Miller McIntyre hit his first 5 shots in this game and carried the action for the Wake Forest team and Deacons. Can they continue it through the second half? And welcome back. The ACC College Hoops coming up next. Jerome Blatzengain and the 7-5 Clemson Tigers take on Marcus George's Hunt and the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets to face off in Greenville, South Carolina. So tune in to the second half of our ACC Saturday doubleheader coming up next as the road to Washington, D.C. continues. And as you look at the standings, you look at the importance of not only this game, but that game as well. North Carolina on top. You see Clemson at 7-5. There's a gaggle of teams. We have 10 teams in the ACC at 500 or better.
Well, the interesting thing, of course, also Virginia playing Duke later today, but the Clemson Tigers have played very well in ACC competition, but they struggled in the non-conference part of the schedule. So when people are talking about, well, who's going to go to the NCAA tournament, a lot of people think Clemson might have a problem unless they win down the stretch in the ACC. So critical game for the Tigers today.
Well, the ACC looking to get multiple teams, possibly as many as 8 or 9, and that's what happens when you're at NC State dressed like a native. NC State leading by 2, 46-44 over Wake Forest. At the half, NC State by 2 over Wake Forest. Interesting ball game between these two teams. Take a look at this ball game right now, and Wake Forest taking advantage of what they do as far as fast break basketball, and that's helped how they shoot in this area.
Well, they've been able to get out in transition, and they were particularly early, and they've been able to get to the free throw line. We mentioned early that they've had a problem sometimes getting to the line and converting, but you see 11 for 15. There you see the 13 fast break points, but look, North Carolina State has matched that 13 with points off turnovers. The turnovers have been a big problem for Wake Forest.
And, of course, Cat Barber looking to get things going in the second half, held to 8 points and only 2 in the last half of the first half.
ACC College Hoops is sponsored by The Works Aero Carts. Go to aerocart.com to see the only 8-in-1 all-purpose lifter, carrier, and mover that lightens every load.
One of the great players of ACC history and NBA, as a matter of fact. 20 years later, he's still working, but you see him that 1996. That's his last ACC and Wake Forest last ACC championship. Billy Manning. Dead man. Building the program back up.
Well, as he has seen all year in that first half, he saw a lot of things he liked and a lot of things he didn't like.
Abu had patience to get around Thomas and get the first basket of the second half. 48-44. That's 6 for Abu.
That's why you need to have Abu in the game.
Anxious moments when he picks up some foul trouble early on. Here's Thomas working the right side. Anya gets the rebound. He gets the second half start.
And that was a good job by Anya just to stay in the way.
Barber blocked by Cody Miller-McIntyre. Miller-McIntyre and Crawford have done a great job at both ends of the court in this game. 11 of 18 they are combined for 24 points.
Now, Miller-McIntyre is a strong physical defender. So they've used Crawford against Barber. They've used Miller-McIntyre against Barber. They're just trying to make Barber work as hard as they possibly can every time down the court.
It's Crawford on him now. Into the paint. Abu having some problems. 4 on the shot clock. Puts it up. And we got a shot clock violation, and it didn't hit the rim.
That's the second time in this game we have seen Abu lose the ball because he's dribbled the ball too far from the basket. Abu has to understand that if he's going to post up, he's got to get closer to the basket, and if he doesn't and he has to dribble, he's got to be prepared for that guard dropping down trying to take the ball.
So Abu with the turnover. Here comes Crawford out top, and he hits. Crawford keeps him close, 48-46. That's 14 for Crawford. Back the other way quickly. Martin, no. The rebound there by Abu, and a foul coming up.
Boy, Abu has been really active here to start this second half. They got Devin Thomas on that particular foul.
That's his second. Abu with the miss. Foul line is going to be important if this game stays close. First half, NC State 9 out of 14. Wake Forest 11 of 15.
And we got somebody bleeding.
Yep, Anya. Little time to get it corrected during the foul shot here.
Well, the rule of that is they can try to get it corrected, but they have to stop the bleeding. He cannot come back on the court while he's still bleeding.
No, it's funny. I'm looking at Abu as he goes to the free throw line, and he's got blood on the side of his jersey.
Well, now, blood on the jersey is okay as long as the jersey is not saturated.
Well, I'm wondering who it came from. Might have been Anya.
Figure Anya bit him.
Cody Miller-McIntyre with a finish, and it's tied it up at 48. No, I'm just guessing their proximity in the
Okay,
lane.
all right.
Caleb Martin. There's Barber. Rowan has scored the last 7 points of the first half for NC State. Anya at work on Thomas, and Thomas gets the rebound. Thomas brings it up in the front court. Got caught up trying to get that ball over to the wing where no one was waiting.
Well, there weren't any defenders over there either, Steve.
No.
So.
9 turnovers for Wake Forest.
I think he was trying to go to the basket. But see, Thomas does that now. Sometimes he gets the ball and he just dribbles it all the way up the court. You have to be prepared to stop him. And NC State did a pretty good job that time.
He and Anya seem to be connected there as they went down the lane. Here's Barber. Nice shot fake.
Oh, and what a nice little bank shot.
10 points for Barber.
But here's Wake Forest. They get the ball out of that net and off they go.
You do all the celebrating you want. They're headed down court. Middleglue out of the post. Miller-McIntyre for 3. And that puts Wake Forest in front, 51-50. 17 for Cody Miller-McIntyre. Two teams battling it out. Faced a lot of adversity. Abu with the turnover.
And Miller-McIntyre, he has scored most of his baskets going to the goal. But Chad Barber doesn't do a very good job at all getting through that screen. That was not a particularly solidly set screen. Barber little lazy on the defensive end there, and Miller McIntyre made him pay for it.
3 minutes gone in the second half. Wake Forest has the lead.
Of course, it's hard to criticize Barber. He's out on the court all the time.
That's right.
If he wants to take a little break now and again, you can hardly hold that against him.
Boog has the rebound. Here comes Barber. Turns on the speed. He'll finish and get fouled by Middleglue.
He got fouled, and then Middleglue fell on him.
Barber none the worse for the wear. That's 12 for Barber.
Well,
now.
easy for you to say. Middleglue 6'10", 245 pounds. He fouls him, and then he falls on him. And again, Barber is just so good in transition. Wake Forest has done a nice job cutting that off for the most part today.
Now Danny Manning has to manage the fouls on his bigs. Middleglue now has 3. So Collins comes in. Barber gets the three-point play.
And Collins has 3 fouls as well.
13 points for Barber. Wilbekin has been kind of quiet until then.
That whole play started when Caleb Martin went for the steal in that backcourt rather than playing solid defense. And from that point on, Wake Forest was playing 5-on-4, and they found the open man.
Tied at 53. Rowan, reach in there by Crawford. Foul on the side.
Rowan is matched up against Wilbekin, and I know that Rowan he's got a reputation as a standstill jump shooter, but he's got a 5-inch height advantage. You'd like to see if maybe he couldn't get the ball down inside against Wilbekin.
Coming back into the ballgame now is going to be Watson. Coming out is Crawford. Inside Anya, up and under the arm of Collins, and Collins may have picked up another foul. No, it's not going to be. Yes, it is going to be on Collins. That's his 4th. So now Danny Manning's got a foul trouble to manage. He's got Middleglue on the bench with 3. Collins up there with 4.
B.J. Anya is a guy who he is better with his low post moves, but still, he doesn't really have a lot of hook shots and jump shots. He's got to dunk it or get a layup. So all you have to do is stay between him and the basket. You don't want to be bringing your arms down.
First half, Anya was 2 for 2 from the foul line, so that's his first miss of the day. So Collins comes out with 4.
Well, he's only a 36% free throw shooter on the year.
Thomas gets the rebound. That's his 13th. Thomas trying to be a factor offensively now. Works in on Abu. Goes to Moore, and he is fouled. The foul, I think, is going to be on Anya. Anya picks up his 3rd.
That's a pretty good battle inside between Abu and Thomas.
Foul shooting, which was good for Wake Forest in the first half. Now maybe pulling away from him. Leonard Freeman comes in.
Well, Moore is a guy who simply hadn't been to the free throw line that much this year. That was only his 12th free throw attempt of the year. It made the previous 8, so he's a guy who can shoot it from the free throw line.
So Anya comes out. Now we get some
blood on the court. Well, you can't have that.
Oh, goodness. So they're administering to the hard court.
Why does the Wake Forest trainer have to clean up the court at NC State?
His end of the court. It's his territory. He's on the other side.
Okay, all right. Just asking.
Yep. Ask and you shall receive. 2 points for Moore. 1 point lead now for Wake. 4 minutes gone. Second half. Barber off the glass. 15 for Cat Barber.
He had 8 in the first half, so he's got 7 in the second half, and we're not to the first timeout yet.
That's right.
Now, when Barber decides he's going to take over the game, look out.
Yep. Here comes Miller McIntyre. The 3 outside by Miller McIntyre. He's having a great game with 20 points. Miller McIntyre, 2 away from a season high. Barber drives the lane. The basket's good. The foul is 2. Foul coming up on Darrell Moore. Cat Barber making the move to the basket, and everybody who attacks him pays. If you're Cat Barber, well, life has been pretty good for you. You're averaging 28 points a game over the last 5, and Thursday night you went home to Hampton, Virginia, and had your jersey retired. Cat Barber there, and head coach Mark Gartfried. And what a night for Anthony Cat Barber. That's his mom getting into the picture. And you see his high school numbers, 2,097 points. Played for the Hampton High Crabbers, and outstanding player in the Peninsula District of Virginia, and leader in the ACC in scoring 23.5 points for Anthony Cat Barber. He's on the free throw line. He had 4 of his first 10 shots in the first half for 8 points, and here in the first 4.5 minutes of the second half, he's 4 for 5. And the free throw gives him 10 points here now, 18 for the game. Barber the last 9, 10 points now for NC State. And the Wolfpack can only claim a 1-point lead on this one.
Wake needs to get Devin Thomas involved on the offensive end. He's only got 5 points. He's got those 13 rebounds.
Most of that's from the foul line, as if on cue. He hits that one with the left hand from the right side to give him 7. Wake back on Barber 3.
Good heavens. I mean, Devin Thomas didn't know where he was going.
He's hit the last 13 for NC State. Hudson with the ball. Miller McIntyre across to Watson. He'll take a 3.
Well, you gotta credit Wake Forest. They have responded here as North Carolina State has gotten hot.
Abu inside can't make it work on the pass from Barber.
Well, he didn't catch the ball cleanly, and as a result, he was delayed getting to the basket.
This is Hudson. Miller McIntyre has 20 points already. Rebound tipped in by Darrell Moore. That's 4 for Moore and a 3-point lead for Wake Forest. Who tries to set a screen for Barber? He's still got 2 black uniforms on him. Malone with a shot from out front. And Moore gets the rebound.
Moore has been a factor in this game, Stu.
Watson. And it looks like it's going to be a foul coming up on Abu.
We talked about Moore, 7 feet 1, very, very long arms, and this is just a guy who beats a smaller man to the basket. Nobody blocked him out. There was a lot of activity there by Wake Forest with the screen and roll, and Moore got matched up against the smaller player and just took him right to the goal.
Abu comes out. Anya comes back in. Abu now with 3. Anya with 3. Here's Hudson, drives the lane. It's going to be an offensive foul. Difference from that one, of course, Leonard Freeman set up outside the restricted area.
Goes first. That's the 16th foul.
Well, he gets his feet set, and that's what you have to have before the offensive player leaves the floor.
10th turnover for Wake Forest. They had 8 in the first half. Even Deacons have the lead.
And they drop back into a zone.
Cody Martin passes out of it, deflected out by Thomas.
And again, the reason you go to that zone is they have not been able to contain Cat Barber's penetration to the basket.
Hey, Luke.
Barber scored all but 2 for Wake Forest in the second half. Bounds. Nice touch by Wake. They thought Rowan got it. He walks quickly away, so they won't be able to remember where he was. Nearly stolen by Miller McIntyre, but he pushed it out of bounds. 5 on the shot clock.
If it's a close play in front of the NC State bench, they get it anyway, right?
Right. Barber on the move. Gets inside, off the glass, won't work. Hudson starts the break. Here's Miller McIntyre. Moore. Rebound, Thomas. He can't make it work. And Thomas recovers. Up and under, no. Anya's going to pick up the foul. And Thomas will go to the free throw line. That's 4 now for Anya.
Well, this is really quite a battle underneath. Anya allowed himself to be pushed out of the way by Devin Thomas. And then Maverick Rowan just throws Scotty Miller-McIntyre out of bounds.
I didn't see that.
He just grabbed him by the arm, threw him out of bounds.
Thomas has 17 rebounds now. And a couple on that possession alone.
You have to block out, obviously, against everybody. But against Wake Forest, if they're able to get that first tip, then it's almost impossible to find Devin Thomas and prevent him from getting that second or third.
1 out of 2 for Thomas. The lead is 4 for Wake Forest. Another tight finish between these two arch rivals in their 243rd meeting.
The zone has sort of slowed North Carolina State down just a tad. And Abu's got to be careful. He doesn't want to pick up his 4th foul with an illegal screen.
Here's Martin in the lane, won't go. Moore gets the rebound. He's been a factor. And said, here comes the shot. Abu can't get the rebound, and Moore gets the basket.
Well, lots of times when you're playing in transition, you forget that you have blockout responsibilities, and Moore just ran down the court. Nobody got in his way.
Lots of excitement on that Wake bench. Here's Rowan. It goes in. It goes down and stays in.
Big, big basket for North Carolina State.
16 for Rowan. Wolfpack 1 possession back by 3s. Miller-McIntyre. Head fake, gets his man off. Rebound Moore. Hey, I wonder if Miller-McIntyre gets the assist. 69-64. Wake Forest. 5-point buffer here. Here's Rowan. You got a whistle and a foul coming up on Crawford. Crawford's trying to maintain it. It was Rowan who started the contact.
Even though they're trying to play that zone to prevent penetration, you have to get penetration, and penetration in the transition is what Wake Forest has done very well all afternoon long, and as a result, they've got the 5-point lead.
ACC College Hoops is brought to you by the official corporate champions of the ACC, Bojangles, Haviland, and Food Lion.
Longtime home for NC State basketball and the first home for the ACC tournament, as a matter of fact. The ACC tournament played here for probably the first 10 or 11 years. And there's the NC State floor, and it's embossed on campus. Here we are inside PNC Arena, and Wake Forest now treating this like a home field. 69-65, and Rowan has 17. Cat Barber, last 5 games, and
but he's well on the way to that 28.
Sure is.
Didn't think so in the first half when he only had 8 points. But he's got 13 already in the second half.
NC State is close to within 3. Wilbekin. There's Thomas in the post against Abu. Goes up and under. Nice rebound and basket. So that's 18 rebounds and now 9 points for Devin Thomas.
Thomas just did a great job holding his pivot foot against pressure. Threw the ball up on the board, went and got it back.
Season high rebound. Steal for Wake Forest. This is McClinton. Doesn't work by Crawford. The rebound comes away to Martin. Goes to his twin brother, and he hits. That's Caleb Martin with the basket. The three-pointer pulls NC State within 2. 16 now for Caleb.
First Rowan and then Caleb Martin hit big baskets for North Carolina State. 3s just when it seems that Wake Forest is getting ready to pull away.
Inside, here's Thomas on Abu. On Abu, actually, the shot is up. Rebound comes away now to Cody Martin. Here's Barber at work. shot blocked by Hudson, taken by Thomas. Here comes Crawford. And it's a blocking foul on NC State. And that's going to be on Barber.
Off the block shot, a great outlet pass by Devin Thomas. And that allows Wake to get out and go. We showed you that last replay where Leonard Freeman had his position established before the offensive player left the floor. That was not the case on that occasion. So Crawford is going to get to go to the line, and I think a big factor in this game for Wake Forest has been their ability to not only get to the line so far, but to convert once they get there.
Thomas comes out. Middleglue comes in. Thomas ties a career-high 19 rebounds. He'll take a rest. Crawford. It's Wake Forest up by 4, 73-69. A little over halfway through the second half. Barber has been fantastic in the second half.
Wake is back to the man-to-man.
Barber takes the shot. Crawford skies for the rebound for Wake. Crawford measuring his way through. Oh, and it's cuffed out of there by Abu. Nice block by Abu. Here is Martin. It is good by Cody Martin. 6 for Cody Martin, 73-71. Wake Forest by 2. Crawford. Hudson at the top left for 3. No. Barber gets the rebound with Crawford in tow. Oh, what a reverse. Wilbekin tried to tie him up, and Hudson came over and fouled him.
You know, Cat Barber, he goes behind his back just to maintain possession of the ball. Watch this. The ball gets away. He sees Wilbekin coming. How do you do this? I mean that is really some play, because he had lost control of the basketball, and all he was trying to do was recover it.
It's the foul shot. Foul shot's important as we get down to the finish of this one.
And again, Barber's a guy who gets to the free throw line. He didn't in the first half, but he's been able to get to the line and convert here in the second half.
23 points for Cat Barber in a tie ball game here in the second half. Abu on the bench. Leonard Freeman is back in. 17th game of 20 or more points for Barber. Here's Wilbekin. Wilbekin on the wing. Takes the 3. Can't make it go. McClinton with a rebound. Blocked. Cody Martin rejected it. Here comes Barber 1-on-3, and he gets fouled.
That was really a good play by Cody Martin. He didn't block out, and so McClinton got the rebound, but rather than jump into him and foul him, he kept his patience. He waited until McClinton left the court, then he goes straight up and blocks it. Watch Martin here. He doesn't go for the fake. He waits for McClinton to leave the floor, then he goes straight up and blocks it, and you're not going to be able to do anything with Cat Barber in transition.
That'll be the 19th foul on the Deacons now. Clinton comes out. Devin Thomas probably got his last rest of the ball game. And Cat Barber on the free throw line. Another outstanding game for him. 86% from the free throw line, and those two won't hurt. 75-73.
All this goes to show you is that you might be able to contain him for a little while during the game, but you're not going to be able to hold Cat Barber down for the entire game.
Here's Thomas inside.
It's one of the few times he's been able to slip free.
It's his 12th double-double of the season and 33rd of his career. Wake Forest ties it at 75. Wake has had an answer for everything State has done. A whistle and a foul. This foul is going to be on Crawford. And
that's 4 on Crawford.
Now the foul trouble starting to pile up on Wake Forest here. Crawford with 4.
Well, if Anthony Barber is that far from the basket, I think you have to play off so you can contain that quickness. And if he's going to beat you from out there with a three, now he's a very good three-point shooter, but you simply try to contest the three. But I think the thing you've got to defend first is that quick ability to drive to the basket.
26 for Barber pending this foul shot. And it's takeover time here for Anthony "Cat" Barber. Miller McIntyre into front court. Barber's averaged 28 points a game over the last 5. He had 3 straight games of 30 or more. Miller McIntyre into the paint. And he got fouled as he went in. The heat is on here in Raleigh as Wake Forest and NC State are treating us to one of those classics. Our Bass Pro Shops in the net. Let's go where Cat Barber's lived in the second half.
Well, Cat Barber has been going to the net and putting the ball in the net. He's been in attack mode this entire half. He has made 1 3-point basket, but this has been basically what we've seen from him in the second half. Attacking the basket. He's made 5 field goals. He's made 8 free throws here in the second half alone. 19
points in the second half. Rest of the NC State Wolfpack has 12. There have been 8 ties, 12 lead changes in this game. And Miller McIntyre, if he hits here, will give us another tie. 7:43. The great equalizer is the free throw line. And Cody Miller McIntyre now has 21. There's Cat Barber, 27 points, so he's 3 away from his 6th 30-point game. 7th, actually.
And with all that other stuff there, he's also got 2 assists in there.
Oh, okay. Those are nice lines. The guys that get 30 points and 10 assists. You're scoring, you're helping other people score. Freeman to Rowan. Barber ends up with a 10 on the shot clock. He's attacked everywhere. Lost a handle of the ball, but there's going to be a foul called on Wake Forest.
And fouls on Miller McIntyre.
That's his second. We've got 2 players apiece on each team with 4 fouls. Barber. And here's our Dairy Queen fan cam of the game. He looks in on Cat Barber's 2 foul shots and says 30 is not far away. 29 right there, and it's a 3-point Wolfpack lead. Middleglue feeds the post. Miller McIntyre with a skip pass. Wilbekin shot is short. Rebound picked up inside. Hudson tries to get a handle on it. It's going to be a jump ball, possession arrow to Wake. So the Demon Deacons maintain possession here, down 3. Under 7 to play. There's Miller McIntyre. Giving Thomas a look inside. Wilbekin for 3.
That time Rowan was not able to get out and force Wilbekin to take a dribble. Wilbekin is a really good catch and shoot 3-point guy.
Got 8 in the game. That ties it up at 79. Abu. Didn't want to test Thomas that time. Rowan has it.
You see Miller McIntyre trying to keep it away from Cat Barber. Now what you have to do is double team and make somebody else beat you.
He's got it to the line. No. Abu.
And that's what happens if he drives to the basket. Everybody's going after him, so even when he misses, great opportunity for an offensive rebound, and Abu takes advantage.
NC State up 2 again. Under 6 to play. Here's Hudson. He glanced at the 3-point line to see if he was inbound. Rowan gets the rebound. NC State back in business.
You have to do something to get the ball out of Barber's hands.
And you can't wait until 5 seconds in the shot clock because you're waiting too long. Into the paint it goes. Abu get the basket and the foul, and a nice feed from Barber.
See, and everybody on the defensive end is looking at Cat Barber, and that allows Abu to get behind the defense. And we just talked about Barber's ability to pass the ball. Yes, he can score. Here he drives the ball to the basket, misses that one, but there's Abu right there for the offensive rebound. And then Abu just sneaks behind the defense. Nice pass, good catch. Abu's going to have the opportunity for a three-point play, and the Wolfpack suddenly have a 4-point lead.
ACC College Hoops is sponsored by Wix Filters. Go to wixfilters.com to find a local distributor nearest you. Your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. And Hardee's.
Young man out of Shelby, North Carolina, David Thompson. A magnificent star here at NC State, and many consider him one of the best to ever play in the ACC. You see his uniform at the Raptors. Malik Abu at the free throw line. Miniglu boards to miss. We've had 54 foul shots taken in this game on 41 total fouls. Yet NC State still has at least a foul to give before it puts Wake on the line the rest of the way. Miller McIntyre. Here comes Thomas. Bulls his way in but can't finish.
It has been very physical inside, particularly in the second half between Thomas and Abu. And Abu has won most of the battles.
Here's Abu offensively on Miniglu. A whistle and a foul on Miniglu. That's going to be 5.
Now, see, the interesting thing there is Abu caught the ball well away from the basket and started to use the dribble to back in, but that time there was nobody to come to help. The side was cleared, so he was able to get all the way into Miniglu, force Miniglu into the foul.
So Miniglu's gone, finishes with 4 points. Foul trouble haunted him with his first 2 fouls in the first 5 minutes of play.
Well, he can't leave the game yet. All right, he did. He fouled out, so he's allowed to leave the game.
Collins will replace him. Collins has got 4.
Miniglu had a big game the first time these two teams played, and one of the advantages for North Carolina State is that he did get in foul trouble and wasn't able to make those kind of contributions.
Abu on the free throw line. Still a 4-point lead for NC State, under 5 to play. Making a 5-point lead. Miller McIntyre into front court. Hudson hands it off inside. Thomas goes reverse and scores.
Boy, Thomas just didn't quit in there.
He'll be sore when this is all over. He's taking a beating in there. 84-81. Here's Barber at the top. There's the defense they were playing on in the first half. Forcing them to make passes out beyond the arc. Martin down the lane. Caleb Martin lost it. And it's going to be Wake Forest ball on the 8th turnover now for NC State.
Now that was a poorly executed play, but that was a pretty good idea by Caleb Martin to pass up the 3 and try to take it to the basket.
NC State up by 3. Wilbekin. Miller McIntyre, Barber watching him. Into the paint. Collins misses the shot, but there's going to be a foul on Abu.
And that's 4.
Yep. Timeout on the court. Under 4 to play. NC State clinging to a 3-point lead. Coming up next, Jerome Blassingame and the 7-5 Clemson Tigers. Welcome Marcus Georges Hunt and the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. It's a key game in Greenville, South Carolina. Tune in to the second half of our ACC Saturday doubleheader coming up next as the road to Washington, D.C. continues. Georgia Tech and Clemson. Foul trouble is a factor in this game. Who will be left? Already Miniglu has walked the plank. Collins and Crawford with 4. 4 to Corey Martin, Abu, and Anya for NC State. Collins on the free throw line. This is third point of the game, but we're closing in on 60 total free throws in this game. Got 164 points on the board, and we still have 4 minutes, a little under 4 minutes to go.
We wanted more offense in college basketball.
Oh, you got it today. Barber at the circle. Out front, Martin takes the 2. Caleb Martin. That's going to be 18 for him.
That was a nice job to pass up the contested 3 and get a good 2, a mid-range 2 inside the arc.
Miller McIntyre's played a good floor game tonight. Hudson looks inside. Thomas spins, runs into Anya, and that's enough to throw him off the shot. Freeman with a rebound. NC State with the ball. We're getting down to 3 minutes. And the Wolfpack with a 4-point lead. Look at how he steps into the lane. One step.
Well, he got in between the screen and Collins, who was trying to help on the screen.
His 7th game of 30 or more. 31 points for Anthony Barber. Inside. Nice basket there by John Collins. 4-point game. 88-84. 2.5 to play. A great finish between these two teams. Here's Barber. Got a foul coming up. It's going to be on Miller McIntyre. All right, let's take a look at our Toyota trivia question and give you the answer. Our Toyota trivia question was, since 1972, 11 point guards have led the league in scoring. Of those 11, who was the last to lead their team to a winning ACC record? And the winner, or the answer, is Malcolm Delaney, Virginia Tech, 2010. 20.2 points and gave the Hokies a 10-6 mark. Barber continues to push on them.
Well, this is really a tough time of the game for Wake Forest, because you know Barber's going to handle the ball and he's going to get into the lane, and if he doesn't score, he's going to get fouled. Now, he missed that free throw, which is a rare occurrence.
Miller McIntyre, that's the law of averages kicking in right there. Here's Crawford on the wing, approaching 2:10. NC State by 5. We got a whistle and a foul inside. Going to be on Freeman.
And we said that the team doesn't often have a winning record, and you can see there Malcolm Delaney, Tony Douglas, 2 years with Jason Williams. Now, back in 1972, Barry Parkley, great player at Virginia, but back in those days, they didn't have point guards.
Right.
2 guards, 2 forwards, and a center. The way Barry played, though, he could have been any kind of a guard.
Thomas with a free throw, has 15 for the game, brings Wake to within 4.
Yeah, I missed that one, but how about Thomas's game? 15 points, 19 rebounds.
He'd hit half of his missed field goals. Wake would be in good shape. Off the foot of Barber. Recovered now by Wake Forest.
That's a break for Wake, because he was on his way to the basket.
Wilbekin misses the 3. Barber gets the rebound. Minute 47 to play. Barber gets inside. Rowan tries to finish.
What a good play by Barber. No need to hurry in this situation.
20 rebounds now for Devin Thomas. But Barber has command. And he is fouled. And that looks like it's going to be it for Collins.
Now, the last time a Demon Deacon got 20 rebounds, it was Al-Farouq Aminu back in November of 2009 in a game against William and Mary.
So one more Wake player has walked the plank.
Well, Collins, he picked up fouls early. Just like Middleglue, he got in foul trouble early. And Collins is a very, very talented young player, so I think Wake Forest missed him today, too.
Yes, they did. But Durrell Moore kind of picked up for that.
Yes, he did.
Barber 11 of 14 from the line, now 12 of 15. 90-85.
Think about that, Steve. He's made 12 free throws. 12 of 15 from the free throw line.
33 points for him. Rebounds, 15 points. Thomas Barber.
In ACC play coming into this game, Cat Barber had averaged 5.5 free throws made per game.
Well, he's nearing a career high, 37 points. Cody Miller-McIntyre for three. Got it!
Well, big shot right there.
24 for Miller-McIntyre, a new season high. Career highs 2 points ahead. A foul coming up. Going to be on McClinton.
And Cody Miller-McIntyre, we've talked about him the entire game. He started out the game attacking the basket, but he's made 3 threes here in the second half. They get an immediate foul against Cody Martin. Martin only a 50% free throw shooter in ACC play, but knocks that one down. 63% on the year.
92-88. That's the 7th point there by Cody Martin. Missed the. Well, no, I said he missed the second one, but it fell in.
You know, Steve, a lot of guys have made contributions for North Carolina State today. Cat Barber has sort of eclipsed everyone else, but I mean, Caleb Martin coming off the bench has played well. Maverick Rowan has 18 points.
Done very, very well. And I think here's the shot away by Miller-McIntyre. The tip is controlled by Martin. Outlet now to Rowan. Rowan will slow things up. Under a minute to play and a foul coming up on Miller-McIntyre. And NC State trying to put this thing away on the foul line.
Devin Thomas very nearly has another rebound, but Cody and Caleb Martin take care of that. Cody tips it and Caleb gets it. And then Maverick Rowan ends up with the ball, and he's going to go to the free throw line.
Timeout. It's a 30-second timeout here. Big game from Cody Miller-McIntyre this afternoon. He's 2 away from a career high.
Well, as we mentioned, in the first half, it was Cody Miller-McIntyre taking the ball to the basket, shooting short jump shots. He made his first 5 field goals, played very well in transition. And here in the second half, though, he has made 3 3-point baskets. He's done everything he can to keep Wake Forest in this game. Big game. You see 10 of 17 from the field, 4 assists. And Maverick Rowan here at the line, Steve. Let's go back to early in this half when Wake Forest put on a big run and looked to be, you know, getting away. And Maverick Rowan made a 3-point basket to keep North Carolina, to get him back to within 2. And I thought that was one of the biggest baskets of the game.
He's got 19, now 20 points. And NC State increases their lead to 7 with under a minute to play. Crawford.
You got to drive the ball at the basket because you figure they're going to try not to foul.
Here's Wilbekin, shoots the 3 that's short. The rebound comes away to Martin. NC State with the ball with 40 seconds to play and a quick foul coming up. It's going to be on Hudson. And that'll put Barber on the line. And coming up next, as soon as we're finished here, we'll head to Greenville, South Carolina, where Georgia Tech will take on Clemson. Big game for both teams, especially for Clemson. They're 7 and 5. They want to stay in the mix.
And Clemson, they're trying to stay in the mix for one of those double byes in the ACC tournament. They're trying to win some more games to position themselves to get an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament.
So Barber with 36. He's 1 away from tying a career high. 37 seconds left. Miller-McIntyre. The pass stolen by Martin. That was Caleb Martin. And here's Barber getting fouled in backcourt. With 28.2 seconds left to go. And the Wolfpack looked like a pretty good bet to answer that early loss against Wake Forest. And one of the reasons, and probably the chief reason why, is stepping to the free throw line right now. He's got 36, Cat Barber does. 37.
Seventh 30-point game of the season.
That's something.
And he set the tone, but again, Rowan's got 20 points, and Caleb Martin has 16. Abu has 11.
Well, there's 98 up there.
Absolutely.
There's
A lot of guys, more than enough to go around.
Barber now. A new career high, 38. 99-88. Wolfpack now. Looking at their third ACC win of the season. Crawford long three. Thomas tries to throw the rebound. That's 21. And the rebound comes away now to Barber. 30 points in the second half for Cat Barber. And he'll tick off the last 8 seconds. And what a game for Cat Barber with 38 points as the Wolfpack defeat Wake Forest 99-88. That's the final. And for Dan Bonner, I'm Steve Martin saying so long from Raleigh. Stay tuned next for Georgia Tech and Clemson.